Hi there. Okay, so we are on part 9. That's good. Slowly getting through the analysis, and part 9 should be good because it's number 9. And on that subject, actually, somebody left a comment on one of the Silver Solstice series videos. I think it was the first one or the second one, saying that the number 9 is a vortex. If you look at vortex math, no, sorry, I've got that wrong. Vortex math, or maths here in the UK, 9 is a portal. Somebody left that comment. I didn't know that, but it makes absolute sense, and the 9 would confirm that. So I don't really know much about vortex math or maths. It sounds really interesting, and that would make sense that the 9 is a portal. I'm aware that the 9 is representative of many things, and one being completion. For my recent book, quite a bit came forward about the 9 and who and what they are, and they were talking about how the 9 is everything. The 9, everything comes back to 9. The 9 is the central point. I didn't really understand that, to be honest. When I was at school, I was bottom of my class in maths. So it's quite ironic that I end up communicating with a geometric master number within the fabric of this reality. So anyway, part 9. So here we go. The activations we speak of are and have been delivered within this transmission. We repeat, the activations we speak of are and have been delivered within this transmission and within other transmissions across your planet from other conduits. Yet remember, the most powerful conduit that you can receive activations from is yourself. And if you embrace the rainbow reality bubble we speak of and step through the rainbow portal on the winter solstice 2017, then you shall receive these activations directly. So when they say the activations we speak of, they're previously talking about activations to do with memory, and the whole moving into this new strand, this new aspect to the template, this new code. And they're saying that these activations that they're talking about are and have been delivered within this transmission. So this particular transmission, the activations are in the material. So let's say somebody goes and watches this video, the Rainbow Portal Silver Ray and the Two Worlds Split Winter Solstice 2017. Say somebody goes and watches that but doesn't watch the analysis. And let's say that person doesn't really understand the material but just likes listening to the video. That activation will take place on a subliminal, subconscious level, on a DNA level, and that will come up in their everyday life, in dreams, in knowings, in thoughts, in the daydream, and in synchronicity, because it's an activation. It's a subconscious DNA language. The analysis that I'm doing is different. The analysis is my interpretation of the activations that are given. So I'm kind of coming from a more third dimensional perspective, even though I go into the fifth dimensional perspective when I communicate with you and do the analysis. So the pure activation would be in the video. That's not to say there aren't activations in my analysis either, but that would be more of a one-on-one communication with you, like you and I are in the same room having a conversation, rather than you receiving a code or an activation energetically. So many ways to receive the activation. So they are in this transmission up to now, up to part 9, and they have been in this transmission now up to part 9 and are in this transmission. So these activations are in this transmission, and the 9 often speak about how what they're delivering in the material through my communication with them and the channeling of them, if you like, through the videos and the books, they often say that that's an activation or activations. Oh, and they repeat this. Now, whenever the 9 say we repeat, this is because that particular sentence is of profound importance. So we repeat, the activations we speak of are and have been delivered within this transmission. So it's like, take note of that, because they've said it twice. And within other transmissions across your planet from other conduits. So these activations that they speak of are not just coming through them and through me. I've said this many times before. There are many conduits, many different types of conduits. Some are channels, and there are some wonderful channels out there also delivering fantastic information with really good higher dimensional connection, bringing through activations. I highly recommend that if you are drawn to channeled material, that you study more than one. And that you don't necessarily just follow one channel. And I would say that to anyone who is following my work, yes, my work will lead you to expansion, information, truth, activation, and all those things. But I would always say cross-reference, or in America, you call that due diligence. I would say do the due diligence, do the cross-referencing through channeling, just as you would in any other subject that you're interested in. Oh, and other conduits are not just channels either. They are poets, fiction writers, actors, screenplay authors, musicians, artists, dancers, you name it, singers. Those activations are everywhere, in the most surprising of places, really. They're not necessarily just in what you would think would be an activation. You may get an activation from your child, a 2-year-old, a baby even. So be aware to who is delivering these activations to you, because once you start to activate, that energy comes through everything. Remember, you are all things, and all things are you. Yet remember, the most powerful conduit that you can receive activations from is yourself. So absolutely. Anything you receive through downloads, through dreams, through the daydream, through the thought process, through your own creativity, your own knowings. I mean, simply just taking a shower and you start mulling over things in your mind, thinking about a video you watched, or a television program, or a book you read, or a conversation you had, or something you saw, and you start thinking. And all of a sudden a realization comes to you, an epiphany. Or you might have a full-on download with information, beings talking to you, visions, clairvoyant visions, however it comes to you. The most powerful conduit that you can receive activations from is yourself, assuming that you are in a balanced state. And if you embrace the rainbow reality bubble we speak of, and step through the rainbow portal on the winter solstice 2017, then you shall receive these activations directly. So what they're saying here is that the winter solstice portal, this December portal, this rainbow reality bubble, so this is you embracing the new earth and keeping the energy of the 5th dimension around you at all times, sustainability of that 5th dimensional energy, which is the entire communication of this transmission, and the silver ray energy. You shall receive these activations directly. So you are going to be receiving downloads, images, dream information, however it may come to you. Meditation, fantastic. Meditate on the winter solstice or any time in December. Meditation is a wonderful doorway in, but you don't have to use it. There are other ways. Some people can just go for a walk, and as they start thinking through the walking, they can receive a huge amount of information, because remember, this isn't just a download, it's also an upload. Simultaneously, it's a download and an upload. So the upload's coming from the DNA, the aspect of you that knows all and everything. The source aspect of you is within you. So you can upload it as well as download it. They're both the same thing. Yet to sustain one's energy within the rainbow reality bubble and create the rainbow portal before you, living with the new earth permanently, one cannot hold the energy of running away or burying one's head in the sand. And this is most important for you to know, understand, and process as you approach the rainbow portal of the winter solstice 2017. So, to sustain your energy within the rainbow reality bubble, to keep that fifth dimensional energy around you, that portal, that vortex I was talking about, and for you to be able to create this rainbow portal, because this rainbow portal is there due to cosmic influence, due to energetics, due to the light raising of this planet, but it's there because of your consciousness, your actions, your words, your behavior, and everyone else in this movement. This huge aware and awake movement is creating this process. So this ascension process that has been foretold and prophesied is being created. We are fulfilling the prophecy. So important to know. We are fulfilling the prophecy. Really important. So I said it twice there, just like the 9 do. So to sustain one's energy within the rainbow reality bubble and create the rainbow portal before you, living with the new earth permanently, one cannot hold the energy of running away or burying one's head in the sand. So this is to do with running away from the third dimension and what's going on. I don't want to know. I'm running away from the third dimension. I'm going to find solace and security in 5D. That's where I will stay. And one buries one's head in the sand. I don't want to know about the news reports. Don't talk to me about darkness or politics or pedogate or Pizzagate. Don't talk to me about any of those things. Donald Trump and impeachment that might be round the corner or might not be round the corner, and all the other things that we're hearing about. These dark, dark machinations, trials and tribulations that are being shown. If we turn away from that, it's okay to transmute it and turn away. It's okay to look at it and think, yes, I'm aware. I know you're going on. I'm aware of this. I don't really want to read the reports or listen to the speakers talk about it, but I'm going to work with this in my own way. That's okay, because that's integration. But if you are like, no, don't bring that to me. Don't want to know. I'm love and light, I'm rainbows and crystals and unicorns, don't want to know. That is running away. And burying one's head in the sand is like, what report? It doesn't come into my reality. That just doesn't come into my reality. Now, it might not come into your reality for a good reason, and that's because you've already done the integration with your own shadow. You may not need to reflect that in the third dimensional shadow, although that is a parallel. So it might not come into your reality because you've done the integrative work. But the other way of looking at this is it's not coming into your reality deliberately because you are burying your head in the sand. So make sure integration takes place. You do not have to listen to the speakers that are analyzing this process. You do not have to read the reports. You can do this personally with your own shadow. But I personally do look at what's going on, and I do integrate it, and I do become aware as much as I possibly can on all the levels. And there are some fantastic speakers out there here on YouTube that are doing a wonderful job of analyzing what's happening, and they will tie in a spiritual energy, a fifth dimensional energy, in with their third dimensional reporting, if you like. So follow your heart here about what you should be looking at and what you should be reading, and really analyze, am I running away from anything? Am I burying my head in the sand, or am I fully open to look at the darkness within the third dimension and embrace it? And then when you do that, that's when you create the rainbow bridge and move into the fifth dimensional energy, because you're in a state of integration. And fifth dimensional energy cannot be found, let alone sustained, without integration. It would be a false presentation of fifth dimensional energy. One must go down and integrate. And yet there is a certain allowance made, if you like. If you were looking at the perspective of a higher dimensional entity or entities or group souls, higher self aspects working with you because of the love they have for you, and it's such an abundant love, it's difficult to even explain how profound that love is. There is an allowance, there is a training ground, there's no punishment, there's no judgment. You are given time. So you're not doing anything wrong. If you've been running away or burying your head in the sand, this is actually quite a common thing. I did it myself. You know, I also went through a period where I didn't want anything negative in my life, positivity only. That was a learning curve. And it was that experience that taught me about integration. So it's all part of this journey. Nothing is ever wrong or a mistake, because if you're in alignment, you will always be brought back to the alignment of your own blueprint and your own path, and you will always be guided into that. This is most important for you to know, understand and process as you approach the rainbow portal of the winter solstice 2017. So this is important for you to know and for you to understand and for you to process. Again, it says here, as you approach the rainbow portal of the winter solstice 2017, the reason why it's important to know it, understand it and process it is because we are entering such a gateway here with the winter solstice, and hence the reason why the 9 came forward and why I'm doing the analysis. If one uses the new earth, the diamond light memory codes and the rainbow energy to retreat to, for safety, for peace, for quiet, for resistance to the turmoil that occurs upon the old earth, one will lose the ability to sustain the rainbow fields and the existence upon the new earth. So I just kind of explained that already. We may refer to this ability to sustain as the silver aspect or the silver ray. So I was very pleased when this information came forward, because I have been looking at the silver ray for quite some time and not really understanding fully or processing fully what that silver ray is. And now I'm very pleased to know that this is sustainability of energy, because now you can consciously work with the silver ray, and there are many ways to do this. You can meditate upon the silver ray, you can wear silver clothing, you can wear silver jewelry, you can work with the color and the compound of silver. I mean, I had my nails done earlier this week, and I've had silver color on my nails specifically for the silver ray. I've got some blue in there too, but most of my nails are silver, and I did that specifically. I don't know whether having a manicure and having nails done is necessarily a particularly good thing to do. Sometimes I question whether I should just leave my nails natural, but I have used having my nails done as color therapy. So at one time when I wanted to create a raising of the chakra system, then I would go in and have my nails done once a month, and I went through each color of the chakras. So I'd have my nails done red, and then the following month orange, and I worked with each chakra as I use my nails as a focus for that. So I think anything you're doing in life, if you are utilizing it as part of your spiritual journey, then you are putting a positive energy on that, and you're integrating it. But then using your nails as a magical tool. I'm speaking to women here mostly, because I don't know how many men have their nails done, but if you do, that's great. To actually use your nails as a magical tool isn't an excuse to have something done that might be negative. So I myself am in the process of integrating whether having my nails done at a salon using the UV lamp and having a nail varnish that kind of joins itself to your own nail bed. I'm working out whether that's a positive thing or not right now. So that's one of my, one of many integrations I'm going through. I might decide it's okay. I might decide that it's not and stop doing it. But right now my nails are silver. The golden aspect is the activation, the memory, the ability to create the code itself. This gives you access to the rainbow bridge and the rainbow portal. And you cannot find the new earth without the rainbow code. The silver aspect is the ability to sustain the energy. So the gold and the silver work together. The golden aspect is the activation, it's the memory, it's the code. And the silver is the sustainability of it. Now, I also feel that this, in my interpretation, would relate to the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So you have the male-female aspects of self and of the universe as well, which is the same thing as the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So the left hemisphere is logic, is pattern and form and code. So that would be the golden aspect, the male aspect. And the silver is the sustainability. Well, in the right hemisphere of the brain, this is the experience, the epiphany, and the female aspect. Many of you hold the golden aspect, yet it is very few of you starseeds that have been able to activate the silver aspect. So many hold the activation, the code, the memory, and not the sustainability. It is this aspect that is being activated more and more at this time. It is the silver aspect that allows you to sustain the energy. So this is a feminine energy. This is the female energy, the divine feminine, really taking hold within this reality now. And I was thinking about this earlier, and I really feel that there has been an imbalance with the male and female energy, and the female energy has been coming in more and more and more. And I feel that this portal, this December 2017, and the winter solstice specifically, is when the female and the male stand in complete balance. That's what I feel. So the silver ray, our activation of the silver ray, is anchoring the feminine energy to stand side by side with the divine masculine. So we are coming into our true balance. And if we're coming into our true balance, then that means multidimensionality. So everything you're hearing within the spiritual communities and within the truther communities, it's all tying up. Everything is starting to make sense. We are creating a jigsaw, and we are putting the pieces of the jigsaw together, and we're putting that last piece of the jigsaw in place this December. We're doing this right now, and it's truly amazing, truly amazing. So the silver aspect is being activated more and more at this time, and it's the silver aspect that allows you to sustain the energy. So we are having sustainability of multidimensionality and of the new earth. One must have both. One must merge the golden and the silver together as one. When you do this, you will be immune to the trials and tribulations and apocalyptic energies of the old earth and the crumbling third dimensional state that presents. So one must have both. One merges the gold and silver. One balances the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain. One merges the male and female aspects within and within our reality. When you do this, you will be immune to the trials and tribulations and apocalyptic energies. That doesn't mean you won't see them. That doesn't mean that they won't be around you, that people you know will be affected by them and you'll be helping them. But you will be immune to those trials and tribulations and apocalyptic energies drawing you down into the third dimension. Because it's so easy when we see something that is a trial and tribulation and an apocalyptic energy, it's so easy to be drawn down into the third dimension. We'll be immune from that when we merge the golden and silver together as one, the divine feminine and the divine masculine merged together as one. Apocalyptic energies being the energies of change. But apocalyptic suggests a fallout of that change, or a result of that change. Doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. It means it's a whole new start, a whole new beginning. But within that, there can be negativity. And that's why the 9 mentioned trials and tribulations, because that's obviously the dramas of the 3D. And the crumbling third dimensional state that presents. So the third dimensional state is crumbling. So one metaphor you could use is when we say the third dimensional state is crumbling, this 108 here right now, actually, I might point that out. It's 8 minutes past 1, so it's a good number, 108. And that's a whole other transmission. The crumbling third dimension doesn't mean that the third dimension is crumbling and falling apart and completely disappearing. Now, that could be a metaphoric interpretation. If that's what you're receiving, that's an interpretation of a metaphor. But to actually look closer at what's actually happening energetically and explain it, what's really happening is the third dimension, the template or the blueprint of the third dimension remains. It's the content that's crumbling down. So rather than seeing, say you could imagine the third dimension as a little square structure full of marbles, let's say, okay? So the third dimension crumbling and falling apart and disappearing, the entire square box and all the marbles are falling to pieces and disappearing. That is a metaphor that is being used, or certainly it's a metaphor that's being interpreted as the third dimension disappearing. But it's more accurate in truth, according to the 9, the information they've given me, and my own analysis of the 9's material and messages, is the box, the square box, remains, but it's the marbles that are crumbling and disappearing. It's the content of the third dimension that's changing. The dimensional fabric itself, that little square box, that's staying there. And it's going to be holding a whole new, well, crystals instead of marbles, let's say. It's going to be holding new content. So that's why we're seeing a crumbling, but it's not the dimension itself that's disappearing. It's the structure. It's not the structure that's disappearing. The content is changing. The content is crumbling and being rebuilt, and the structure of the dimension is changing geometric form as it merges with the other dimensions, with the 5th dimension, creating a splitting of the worlds. So confusing metaphors, I understand, and in a way it's good, because as you analyze these different metaphors, you go through expansion, and that is the ascension journey, is your expansion. As you expand in your thinking and in your consciousness, and you trigger more and more of the neurons and pathways within the brain, you're creating a new code within the DNA. So to actually receive the pure activation of the language of light codes is an activation in itself. And to go through an analysis of those codes is an activation of itself. The receiving of the codes would be the female energy, the right hemisphere of the brain, the silver ray, if you like. But the analysis of the material, the analysis of the codes, would be the left hemisphere of the brain, the male divine masculine, and the golden ray. So we are, I think, really that the number one core teaching here is about balance. We are coming into balance. We are finding balance. We are receiving balance. But I think the best statement to make would be, we are balance. We are balanced. And that's truly lovely, because that's integration. So that's the end of part 9. So that was a good one, wasn't it? I thought it would be for number 9. Lovely. And I will be back soon with number 10. So we are working through this. I have now got another 3 pages of text. So you'll be seeing a lot of me waffling on. Anyway, that was part 9. So thank you so much for listening. Have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I will be back soon. Bye. We are now at a time in our planetary evolution known as ascension.
Those individuals we can call starseeds are currently in their millions and are collectively going through this awakening process. In this book, the 9 bring forward memory triggers designed to act as a catalyst into the awakening process. They present a model of working with the individualized matrix field, known also as the Merkaba, through matrix architecture, Merkaba magic, and the golden triad of ascension, presenting an in-depth analysis and explanation of the twin flame consciousness and how this relates to the ascension, as well as providing triggers to the collective memory experience known as Atlantis. This transmission is designed to trigger your multidimensional memory as you begin the construction of the Merkaba matrix and embrace the inner archetype of the architect. The triggers contained within this material are there to assist you in accessing the codes for the new formation of the original crystalline DNA matrix. I, Magenta Pixie, am so happy to present this transmission to you from the White-Winged Collective Consciousness of 9. Divine Architecture and the Starseed Template.